this is our chocolate show. This is for Valentine's Day. Everybody loves chocolate, don't you?
If you don't, I don't want to know you.
Oh, that's right. You know, everybody wonders, what is chocolate? Chocolate is like, it's the seeds, the beans of the cacao tree. It's actually native to lowland South America, but it's been transplanted to Western Africa, and that's where most of it comes from. By the way, a lot of it's picked with slave labor, so it's one of these dirty pleasures. Chocolate beans, the nibs they call them, they are intensely bitter, almost like coffee beans. And they used to boil them with water and drink them. That was really the first way it was done. It was, what do they call that, Mesoamerica, pre-Columbian Mesoamerica, when the Aztecs and the Mayans and all those guys. Those guys were really hip. They had everything going on about chocolate.
Certainly sounds like
Yeah. Anyway, chocolate, in order to make it to what we know today, they have to ferment the beans. I'm not really sure how they do that. It's not like yeast or something like that. But they ferment them, and then they roast them, and then they grind them, and then that becomes cocoa. That's exactly what this is. So this is really, really chocolate. They remove the cocoa butter in different ways, and cocoa butter ends up becoming white chocolate. We'll talk about that later. Let me see, chocolate is like full of antioxidants and alkaloids. The antioxidants are very big these days because people want to be healthy and they find that eating chocolate's good for you. Can you imagine that?
It's very good news too.
I like that
and
too.
Finally, something is good for you, so that's also...
that's right. It lowers, or it affects serotonin levels in your brain, which is good. So, you know, people on Prozac, eat chocolate. It works fine for me.
Is that why I'm so happy when I eat chocolate?
That works for me.
Hey!
I know that, yeah. Yeah, it's also an aphrodisiac, which is really cool. You know, I'm not sure whether it's the chocolate or just getting it. I don't know. But let me see. Oh, yeah, they actually use chocolate as a cacao beans as a kind of currency back in the Mayans and the Aztecs and everything like that. Like, for example, a turkey was worth 100 cacao beans. A ripe avocado, 3. Wow. So I guess it shows how the Aztecs thought about turkeys and avocados, you know. Let me see.
By the way, at work sometimes, I will give additional assistance if somebody brings me chocolate. So the tradition is still holding today.
Ah, good, good. Hey, cut for a minute.
I'm down while it's rolling so they can hear it.
Okay, as I stated earlier, this is real chocolate. This doesn't get any more chocolate than this. Next thing is we have unsweetened chocolate, which this is the baker's chocolate. Everybody's seen this. You try to eat this, oh, you're in for a real shock. This is just chocolate with a little bit of cocoa butter put in there. You can actually use, if a recipe calls for baker's chocolate and you don't have any, you can use some cocoa and a tablespoon of oil or shortening or something like that. Next down the road is semi-sweet chocolate. This is characteristically about 60 to 70% cacao, which is really good. That's the best chocolate is about there. It goes down as you get to lower quantities of chocolate. Oh, excuse me. This is bittersweet. This is the 70%. This is the really good stuff. This is semi-sweet. This is about 50 to 55%. This is something called German chocolate. I really don't know what this is. I've never used it before, but it's got butter and sugar in there. So I imagine this is more like a candy bar than other things like that. This is another form of chocolate that everybody knows. These things, I can't even keep these in my house because I will eat them.
Yes.
I have a half bag in my freezer right now. And then they also start producing milk chocolate, which is really cool. You can make Toll House cookies with milk chocolate. These things melt wonderfully. They don't give the percent of cacao on there. If they're not proud of it, they usually don't post it. This stuff, this is the Ghirardelli. This is the really good stuff. This is 60% cacao. Now, 70% is considered the high-class chocolate. This is the semi-sweet, which is about 50-55%. And this is something called white chocolate, which is really just cocoa butter. That's all it is. Cocoa butter, sugar, and some vanilla in there. Now, don't be shocked. Sometimes there's not enough chocolate in chocolate to make it called chocolate. Like, for example, Nesquik. This is chocolate flavor. I mean, it tastes like chocolate. It's really good in milk, but it's not really chocolate. Well, there's not enough chocolate. It's kind of like cheese food. When you go to the market, you can find American cheese. Look at it carefully, because sometimes it's cheese food. There's more hydrogenated oils in there than the cocoa butter. In 2007, Nestle, Hershey, and Archer Daniel Midland. So there's really only 3 companies that make chocolate. Cadbury, some of them, Cargill, and Archer Daniels Midland. They're the ones that actually make the chocolate and process it. Everybody else, they just buy it and they mold it and they do things, flavor it in different ways. Anyway, they Hershey and Nestle, they tried to lobby Congress in the FDA to have it changed where they can call chocolate chocolate, even if it's got only 7% chocolate in there.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, can you
travesty.
imagine that? Yeah, I mean that's like not really stuff. That can't be called chocolate. I make a really good white chocolate ice cream, and I usually use the white chocolate chips to do it. And the last batch that I made, it tasted good, but it just was a little funny. And I looked at the bag, and I find out they call them classic white chips. Same with these, premier white chips. These aren't even cocoa butter. I mean, there's some cocoa butter in there, but not enough to call it white chocolate. This is like really paraffin and vanilla and some sugar or something like that.
Oil.
Yeah, that's all it is. Hydrogenated oil. This is the good stuff.
Ah.
The Lindt. Yes, we're going to be fighting over this afterwards, I'm
Yes,
sure.
we are.
This is 85% cacao. This is the really good. Now, they call this extra dark, and the 70% intense dark. I don't know what the difference is, but afterwards we'll find out. And
Yes.
there's going to be a hell of a chocolate rush over here. Brings me to one more thing you can do with chocolate. When you're working with it, believe it or not, it helps to put a little bit of paraffin in there. Chocolate is, it's got this, it melts at just basically the same temperature of your body. And that's why it's got such it's so pleasing when you eat it. Also, that the smoothness of it is, there's a term called conching, I think, or conking, or something like that, where they run the chocolate beads through like a bunch of marbles in a big pot, and the friction of the marbles heats the chocolate. You got to heat it very slowly and carefully. You don't want to scorch it or anything like that. But the jelly with this wax, paraffin, this is food grade paraffin. This helps it so it doesn't melt, kind of like melt in your mouth, not in your hands. But you don't want to show anybody this, but it makes it work. It's like kind of a dirty little secret among chocolatiers.
Ah.
Yeah, melting chocolate. In order to use it, you have to melt it, and the best way to melt it is a double boiler. It heats it up nice and slowly. There's water in the bottom.
Simmering water.
Yes, exactly, yes. And you put the chocolate in the top. Now, one of the things you don't want to get water in chocolate. When you're melting it, if water gets into chocolate, it turns it into like gritty, like grainy. It really makes it weird. Now, not everybody has need for a double boiler. I mean, if you're going to make hollandaise sauce and beignets, you need a double boiler.
Yeah.
But then again, some of those mixes are so good. Who needs a double boiler? Another way to do it? Well, we have 2 double boilers here at Chez Bruce.
Yes.
You can get a pot, fill it with water, and put a pan on top of it. This will work just as well as a double boiler. So that's if you want to do something at home. Well, want to melt some chocolate?
Yes.